Welcome to Seniors Daily Life. Today, we're diving into something that might hit really close to home. We're asking a crucial question. Could some of the most common medications we take every day actually be affecting our memory? We're going to uncover some truly surprising links between everyday drugs and our cognitive health.
To give you a sense of why this is so important, think about this. A new person is diagnosed with dementia every 66 seconds. That means by the time this short explainer is over, about 20 more families will have received that life-changing news.
But what if a major cause isn't just something unavoidable, like aging? What if a key trigger is actually hiding in plain sight, right inside your medicine cabinet? That's what we're here to explore. The idea that some of the most prescribed drugs could be a hidden cause of memory loss.
All right, let's get right into it. We're going to start our investigation by looking at a group of medications that literally millions of seniors take daily, many with absolutely no idea about the potential risks to their brain.
Now, before we start naming names, you need to know this one crucial term, anticholinergic. Think of it this way. Your brain has a chemical messenger called acetylcholine. It's like the postal worker for your memory, delivering the messages that help you learn and remember. Well, anticholinergic drugs block that messenger. And that's where the trouble begins.
So our investigation kicks off with a pill that's probably in your home right now, Diphenhydramine, but you almost certainly know it as Benadryl. It's what we all reach for when we have allergies or need a little help sleeping, but it's also a powerful anticholinergic. And this is where it gets really eye-opening. A recent study found that seniors who used anticholinergic drugs like Benadryl on a regular basis had a 54% higher risk of developing dementia. That is not a small number, folks. That's a huge jump from a very, very common pill. The good news? There are much safer choices out there. For allergies, you can look to newer options like loratadine, Claritin. The key difference is that they don't cross the all-important blood-brain barrier, which means they can treat your sniffles without messing with your mind. And Benadryl isn't alone, not by a long shot. The list of culprits just keeps growing. As you can see here, super common meds for heartburn, bladder control, and even high cholesterol have all been tied to a pretty significant increase in the risk for dementia or cognitive decline.
Coming in at number 5 are the benzodiazepines. You probably know them as Xanax or Valium. They can feel like an absolute lifesaver for anxiety, but they create a dangerous trap. A 2022 study showed that using them for just over 3 months was linked to a 51% increased risk of Alzheimer's. They essentially put your brain in a fog that makes it hard to learn.
All right, now we're moving on to some even deeper risks. We're going to look at medications that are often considered essential for things like pain and depression, but where the hidden cost to your brain can be really alarming. At number 4, we have amitriptyline. Now, this is an older antidepressant often used for nerve pain, and it's one of the strongest anticholinergic drugs out there. Listen to this quote: "The effects on cognition are not just possible, they are expected with long-term use." Expected. That's how well known the risk is. Long-term users have a 54% greater chance of dementia.
Now, number 3 is so important because it highlights a crucial difference. I'm talking about paroxetine or Paxil. It's a modern SSRI antidepressant, but here's the catch. It's an outlier. It's the only common drug in its class that has these significant memory-blocking anticholinergic properties.
And the research makes this crystal clear. Studies found that seniors taking Paxil were 30% more likely to show early signs of cognitive decline compared to those on other modern antidepressants. It just goes to show you not all similar drugs are created equal when it comes to brain health.
And now for our runner-up. At number 2, antipsychotics like Seroquel and Risperdal. And this is truly alarming. These are powerful drugs designed for severe mental illness, but they're often being prescribed off-label to seniors just to manage things like agitation or sleeping problems.
The consequences of this practice can be devastating. Research shows a 71% increased likelihood of worsening cognitive decline, and that's within just 1 year. It's happening even in people who had no prior signs of dementia at all. So we've walked through 8 different drugs and drug classes, and each one carries some pretty serious risks. But the number one danger, the biggest threat to your mind for medication, is actually something far more common and way more subtle. You're probably thinking it has to be some single, super powerful pill, right? But the truth is, the biggest threat of all has been hiding in plain sight this whole time. Here it is. It's not one pill. The single greatest risk is the silent, creeping, cumulative effect of taking multiple medications at the exact same time. The technical term for this is anticholinergic polypharmacy. It sounds fancy, but the idea is simple. It's the total burden or load that you put on your brain when you take several of these memory-blocking drugs together. Even if each one has only a mild effect, together they can gang up on your brain. Think of it like stacking blocks. Maybe you take a Benadryl for sleep. That's one block, a mild risk. Then you add a pill for bladder control like Ditropan. That's another block. Individually, the risk seems small. But together, you've just built a wall that stops those essential brain messengers, and that creates a severe cumulative danger.
And the scale of this danger is just immense. A massive analysis in 2022 found that seniors with the highest total anticholinergic burden, the ones with the most blocks stacked up, had a 120% increased risk of dementia. That's more than double the risk, simply from combining common medications.
Okay, I know that all sounds incredibly scary. But, and this is the most important part, a lot of this risk is preventable, and in some cases even reversible. So let's shift from the problem to the solution and talk about what you can actually do to protect your mind. Here is a clear 4-step plan to day control. 1. Make a list of every single thing you take. Prescriptions, over-the-counter pills, supplements, everything. 2. Take that list to your doctor or pharmacist and ask them directly to calculate your total anticholinergic burden. 3. Talk with them about safer alternatives. And 4. Start looking into non-drug approaches for things like sleep, anxiety, or pain.
Ultimately, the takeaway here is one of empowerment. Protecting your brain often starts not with some numerical cure, but with a simple conversation by asking the right questions about the pills you're already taking every single day. The real question is, are you ready to take action?